Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A decision has been made. The Eagles have a former All-Pro linebacker headed to town. A much-needed renovation after last night's game. We will break down all of it, but the man has made the correct decision out of the Eagles and Cowboys. We'll get into it, man. We're not even going with an intro today. Welcome into A to Z Philly as we are breaking down the news live. RB here. Do me a favor. If you are pumped about a former All-Pro linebacker headed to Philadelphia, hit that like button, subscribe to the show, as we are here literally 2 minutes ago. We get a bombshell on Twitter, and we will talk about what it means. But before we do that, a shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with the code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet when you register with BetMGM. You'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. I would say the Eagles are probably favorited on this decision, but now it's official. The Eagles and former Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaq Leonard have agreed to terms on a one-year deal after he took a visit to Philly last week. If you remember, he actually went to Dallas first. People thought he was going to the Cowboys. Then he took time to think about it, goes to the Eagles. People are like, what's going on? He leaves Philadelphia without a deal, said he's going to take the weekend to weigh the decision. And oh boy, did he. He made the correct decision. That's right, he made the correct decision, and we talked about that on our last video because the Eagles are a much more favorable situation. Right now, Zach Cunningham, banged up, didn't play yesterday, and sure, he's going to come back, and the Eagles definitely need that production, especially with the way they looked yesterday against San Fran. I was actually getting ready to talk about that game, but we'll have to push it another day because now the Eagles have another boost, another bump, and I know what people are going to say. All right, Shaq Leonard, has been injured, and the last year or two have been really shaky, and that's all true. But this guy is essentially free. This is a flyer, okay? And you get this guy for nothing. You don't have to give up any value. You get him in here. The Colts had cut him, surprisingly, and now he's on your team, right? A couple weeks later. I mean, the fact that he chose Philly shows a lot about how he values both situations, probably his opportunity, his playing time. But this is a huge addition, and I always say this about any players, any free agents. Coming into a situation like this, is going to be so much better than the Colts, right? Because now you have more playmakers around you. You hopefully have a better scheme, right? A better design, and all that being around you will better suit your game. So even if Shaq Leonard is not at the top peak performance anymore, he's still going to look a lot better than he did in Indianapolis. Now, this came out earlier today from Josina Anderson. She had said, right now the Eagles have some optimism that Leonard was coming to Philly. This was at 1:30 p.m. That's the extent to the characterization. And then she said, my understanding is that the Cowboys have not received any indication of Leonard's decision as of this early afternoon. My man literally ghosted the Cowboys. I love it. I said this on the live stream a couple days ago. Shaq Leonard was either going to become the most loved guy or the most hated within the next couple days. Because guess what? The Eagles have a flight to Dallas, and now he's going in there as a villain, right? If he was in there signing with the Cowboys, man, the Eagles would have been all over him. They would have been jawing up, talking smack. Now he's a part of the good guys, and I am pumped. Josina also had mentioned this. She said, regardless of what happens here, the Eagles' focus is still on the return of Cunningham and Dallas Goedert. This morning, I heard an emphasis on the impact of Cunningham's absence, and generally looking forward to getting back their tight end. The Leonard potential arrival would still be viewed as a depth addition. So this is not like the end all, like, okay, here's our guy, we got him. He's going to fit into the equation. He may not play a lot of snaps this upcoming week, but you saw how fast they acclimated guys like Kevin Byard and Isaiah Roby. So I would expect Shaq Leonard to get in there, get the helmets and the pads on and get ready to go. But the potential here, right? The risk reward is like very low risk, very high reward, especially for a team trying to contend. The trade deadline is passed, and you're looking at a guy in Shaq Leonard who is a former 3-time Pro Bowler, a former 3-time All-Pro, and obviously you look at his numbers, they have dipped this year, but as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, he's only 28 years old, right? So if he proves himself here and can get back to the level he was at, I mean, he was probably regarded as one of the top 2 or 3 linebackers a couple years ago. If he can get back to that level of production, I mean, this guy could be really, really valuable for this team going forward. Look at how many tackles he had over his first 3 to 4 years. Look at how many forced fumbles he had. He had 8 forced fumbles in 2021. Look at all this, man. He had, 4 interceptions, 5 interceptions in his second year. This guy can play. And once he gets back to that level that a lot of people know he can get back to, obviously had some scary injuries, he could be a very solid depth piece, whether he's starting or not. But the way Nick Morrow looked yesterday, he was probably the worst graded linebacker in the entire NFL this week. Christian Ellis didn't really do much, right? And you need Cunningham back, but hopefully Shaq Leonard can step right in and fill some voids, because the Eagles are definitely going to need it. And I think he looked at this like, this team is lacking in this area out of anything, and I am going to be the guy to step in and get it done. So I'm excited. I would love him to go in and make a big play in Dallas on Sunday. We'll see if he's ready to go. But the Philadelphia Eagles have a new linebacker in town. His name is Shaq Leonard, and it's very odd and very intriguing at the same time how the Eagles continue to have this interesting connection with Colts players, right? Where Eagle players end up going to the Colts, and coaches as well. And then Colts players and coaches end up coming to Philly. I don't know how it keeps happening, but it does. So as it says, Philly was the preferred spot. The Eagles get it done. I wouldn't be surprised if Ertz is next. We'll see what Howie Roseman has cooking up. Give me your thoughts on this signing down below in the comments section. As always, appreciate everybody. Drop a like and hit that subscribe here on the YouTube channel. That being said, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.